I actually want you to share that story of Sri Aurobindo when he was a principal and he used to take the amount of money only how much he required. Could you share that with us?
Yes, that was one of his convictions, which he also mentioned in one of his letters to his wife.
Hmm.
And he called it one of his madnesses, that I want to keep for myself only as much as I need, because all the education and other abilities that I have received from the divine. And, and therefore, what I am being paid for the work that I'm able to do also belongs to the divine. And therefore, if I keep more for myself than I need, I'll consider myself a thief.
Hmm.
And he gave it a practical shape by putting all that he got every month in a big tray, leaving it open for anyone to pick up money as and when anybody needed it. And he just kept for himself the bare minimum that was necessary for the basic requirements. And once somebody even asked him that, why do you do that? Don't you think that will encourage people to steal and so on?
Hmm.
He said, well, uh, I don't keep any accounts. God keeps accounts for me. And another occasion, he said that uh, the fact that I'm able to leave money like this just shows that we are surrounded by honest people.
Absolutely. And I believe that this is the purpose of life, to understand that why we are here on earth, not just for ourselves, for our family, but much beyond than that. So, how should a person think beyond themselves? What do you think?
Actually, this knowledge that we are all interrelated
Hmm.
is something somewhere deep within us. It is only social conditioning that makes us feel that I have to live this life for myself
Hmm.
and for a few others with whom the relationships are clearly defined
Hmm.
in terms of my parents, my partner, my children, and so on and so forth. Now, these are boundaries that we have created, but somewhere deep within, we can feel that we share a sense of oneness, if not oneness, at least some relationship with everybody else. And once we realize that, we also discover that we cannot be happy unless people around us are also happy. We cannot consume happiness without generating happiness for others. Now,
Hmm.
these are things which we realize, but sometimes find it difficult to acknowledge because of a very narrow way or a limited way of thinking with our minds, and because of some conditioning that may happen as a result of the society in which we live, where apparently everybody seems to be working for himself or herself.
Hmm.
So, all this conditioning, and as you said some time back, whenever we are asked, what would you like to be? And then when our peers ask us, how much money do you make? Makes us feel that, well, life is basically about uh, getting as much as I can from the world, and the focus is not on giving.
Hmm.
But then we can see this interrelatedness with the rest of the creation, and that translates into, in practical terms, the people around us
Hmm.
or whatever is around us. It translates into that, and we find that when we are able to feel that sense of interrelatedness, it turns into love.
Yeah.
And that love needs an expression.
Hmm.
And the expression of that love is by giving. We can give only what we have, and we can give it to those who need it. So it is that chain which eventually leads to what we are able to give in terms of our abilities and passions.
Yeah.
And we give it to those who need it, and we are able to find them easily if we do not define whom we will give through these narrow boundaries, which are man made, like
Hmm.
I'll give it only to my immediate
Hmm.
family or my neighborhood, or to those who belong to my caste and creed, or any such narrow boundary. So if we are able to see that oneness, which is completely independent of these uh, criteria,
Hmm.
which are very superficial as compared to the deeper level at which we are all one and interrelated, at least interrelated.
Hmm.
Uh, so, if we are able to see that, then life becomes very simple,
Yeah.
because we are then giving independent of these criteria, and therefore it's not difficult to find those whom we can give what we have.
Hmm.
And this becomes particularly relevant for people at my age,
Hmm.
because by this stage, one may reach a stage where the children have become independent, The grandchildren also don't need the person. And therefore, if the person remains within that narrow group, that these are my own people and I can give them, the rest are strangers. If you remain within that, then you yourself only suffer. Because then you find that then what is the purpose of living? There's no meaning to my life. Whereas if you can see that oneness, that one sense of oneness makes you love anybody who is in front of you. And then if you find that there's a complementary situation, the people who are in front of you, you can give them something which they need, then you find that your love finds an expression. Then your life always has meaning. It always has purpose.
Yeah, absolutely.